Good morning, friends. Randy Flickinger here again with another story I wanted to share with you. I just get bombarded with them, and so I put them out there. That's what I'm asked to do, and that's what I'm going to do. I hope you enjoy them. I was teaching recently at one of the two Christian academies I teach at. I teach at Central Christian Academy and at Trinity Academy here in Wichita, just as a substitute. So I get to teach all kinds of ages, all kinds of classes. It's a lot of fun. But I happen to be in a Bible class, and shout out to both those schools. Both of them have students who follow me and who beg me to be a part of my videos. And I don't want to include anyone else like that because of liability and their parents and, all kinds of stuff where they may say, well, I don't want my kid on TikTok with some moron substitute teacher, realtor, or whatever. That's fine. But I was teaching Bible, and on the plaque, on the wall, there was a plaque. Let's try that. And it said, and it stuck with me, always pray to have eyes that see the best in people, a heart that forgives the worst, a mind that forgets the bad, and a soul that never loses faith in God. Did you hear that? Real quick again. Always pray to have eyes that see the best in people. Man, do we do that? I can tell you right now, it's human nature to not trust people because of what happens to us, right? To see people not for who they are, but who we think they are. There's a huge political divide in this country. If you and I spent time with people from the other party, and if some of you are going to say you're independent, that's great. If you spent time with either party, with the people, we might discover that we have more in common with those people than we don't have in common because of the political bias, because of the background bias, because of the racial bias, the gender bias, all the garbage that we use to prejudge people. And in many ways, God's saying, you know what? See the best in people and then have a heart that forgives the worst. I was teaching, same group. And one of the kids, they were trying to figure out some of their blind spots, areas that they don't necessarily see God at work or they don't see in themselves that they need to do better for God to be more present in their lives. And one of her friends, she said, I'm having trouble figuring this out. And one of her friends says, you don't want to forgive people. You hold on to a grudge. And I just started laughing because the girl sat there for a minute and she said, well, I guess I do. And I thought, well, obviously you do. If your friends have the courage in high school to say, listen, this chick holds a grudge. Those are the kind of things that you and I are not supposed to do. What's the old saying? Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. That sounds great. We love that. And we should learn from mistakes that we make in judging and understanding people. But we also have to learn how to forgive. We cannot be grudge-holding, angry Christians. That's not what Jesus asks of us. That's not what we do. He goes on then and says, have a mind that forgets the bad. Oh my gosh. If I ask people, how's your life? There's a lot of people that tell you, my life stinks. My life sucks. It's terrible. You have no idea all the problems I've had. And then I can talk to other people. I remember a lady in my church. She died several years ago. Her name was Shirley Vincent. Wonderful lady. God bless her. She fought cancer 4, 5, 6 times. And you would talk to her, and she would tell you always, you know what? I'm doing good. Life's great. God's taking care of me, and I'm making the best of my life. She was upbeat. She didn't dwell on her problems. She didn't dwell on the bad that was around her, especially with cancer, 5 or 6 times. Every time she thought she was healed, she'd get it back. But you know what? She never focused on that. She focused on the good. And finally, a soul that never loses faith in God. There are a lot of times as Christians we start to think, God, where are you? I'm still here. You told me to trust you. You told me to have faith in you. I reached out in this relationship. I took this risk financially or with this job. I am doing what I believe you asked me to do and sharing my faith. And yet I'm getting ostracized. I'm getting hammered for it. I'm going through one of those deals right now. I won't get into details, but I know I'm doing what he asked me to do, and yet it's not working. I'm just laughing because it's not working. I got a couple of those going on. But you know what? I'm going to still do them because I know I trust and have faith in a God who says, if I ask you to do this, I'm going to come through. Now, that plaque obviously was biblically inspired. These are all personal attributes that God asks us to model as Christians. Can you imagine how many people we could influence for good based on us living a life like that plaque just shared? Can you imagine? What's one of the biggest complaints that people have for not going to church or leaving church? They're all hypocrites. I hear that repeatedly. And if you're one of those people who says, I don't go to church because they're all hypocrites, go to another church and plug in some of these attributes that I just shared out of that plaque. You're going to have hypocrites at work. You're going to have them at your friends. There's hypocrites everywhere. Don't hold church to a different standard, even though they should be. But we're all human. We all fail. Whether we're in church, we're at the bar, we're at work, we're at school, we fail. So doggone it, labeling Christians as hypocrites, Christians, you need to do a better job, we need to do a better job, but don't be doing that and using that as an excuse not to get to know Jesus Christ. He wants a relationship with you, a one-on-one relationship with you. He's not asking you to join a group of friends, although he says repeatedly the benefits come from doing that. All right? Remember the old saying, I share it all the time, I'd rather see a sermon any day than to hear one. Bottom line is, you and I need to live the life that plaque talked about, and others will be drawn to us and to him and the opportunity to share about him. Thanks for listening. Save this as a favorite. Share it. Repost it. I'm thrilled for any of it. Your comments are always appreciated. And thanks for listening, guys.